All right, guys, we are back for our final game of our final set of the night. I am Payback SXE. He has scored. We are babysat by Trombone Ham behind the scenes. And let's go ahead and start the game right now and introduce to our players. Scorb, who is where?
We have the orange Protoss in the bottom left of the two spawn position map. It is Payback's coach, Sir Condor. And spawning in the top right, the pink Terran, as Joe would say, the non-positive guy. It's negative.
All right, so we had this series is now at game 3. Game 1, Coach took a nice commanding lead with a well-timed, I guess, 3-base push there, basically on a counter swing, doing a lot of damage with drops while simultaneously then pushing back across the map on Metropolis. Negative, meanwhile, on game 2 on Whirlwind, basically did the same thing with the drop play with Hellions taking out so many workers in game 2. It was hard to watch.
It just outright abused positioning with his Banshee, getting units out of position. Banshee's not even doing any damage other than just being, as Trombone said in the break, a retard magnet. Very, very well put. Very well used Banshees. So.
Yeah, that's legit. And now here we are, game 3 on Daybreak. You know, it's a TVP. It's Daybreak. I'm very curious to see what these players do in terms of how they approach it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Negative Coach, maybe go that air route again because of the map itself.
Coach already 9 scouting. Really wanted to see what was going on. Want to make sure that he didn't see a gas. Very fast scout this game.
Yeah, that is interesting. It definitely something you would worry about. It's something you would do if you were playing a random, not so much if you knew what you were playing against. You wait till 12. But yeah, he definitely wanted to get in there and see what he was dealing with. No gases to be seen by Neg, but barracks and the supply depot. Standard timing for that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Nothing really too exciting going on either side. Looks like it's going to be just a 1x expand from Neg. And it looks like it's also going to be a fast expand from Condor.
Yeah, looks like that expand. He's saving up just south.
Wait, there's a bunker? There's a bunker on the high ground.
Is that you, bunker on the high ground?
I don't understand what that bunker is there for.
Hey, you think?
And it's canceled.
I don't think he knew either. YOLO.
Yeah. Very interesting to see what he's gonna do. Maybe he thought he was getting proxy 2-gated. That's a possible. Yeah, very, I guess, sketchy of the Protoss to have that much chrono. So I guess he was afraid, I guess, but I mean, nothing really makes sense for that.
Better safe than sorry at that point on a very quick scout as well to try to gather whatever info you could have. Maybe at the end of the day, Coach just not used to chronoing that much, and he had an extra chrono saved up. Could be.
Either way, bunker was just a little bit odd. I've never seen a bunker that fast that early on the high ground. Just like it.
Yeah. And like not even at the ramp, but like in the middle of the high ground.
Yeah, like there's gonna be stuff proxied really close, and I need to just defend my CC and my workers.
Yeah.
So that's what it looked like. But hey, I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry. But that is a lost investment very early on. Slowed down his CC a little bit. Coach, on the other hand, not looking like he's going to expand with these 2 gates.
Which is
got warped away.
Yeah, if I'm. Yeah, I don't really like what I'm seeing from Coach in that. I would like to see him either expand already or have been more aggressive already. He's kind of in between right now, and I'm not sure that I really like what I'm seeing. He's chronoing the warp gate. He's chronoing the gateways. It's like he wants to be aggressive, but he's only on 2 gates and they're not proxied.
And a thing you have to note is that he has 6 probes on gas. This isn't going to be gateway pressure. There will be some kind of tech soon. It's a matter of what. And there's a couple sentries coming out, but that's not what I had in mind.
This is looking like more of a push than it should, and especially and there goes the expansion. The expansion goes down right behind him. So maybe he's just using it as a poke, as a pressure, while expanding behind, giving himself some more time. I guess that could be.
Yeah. I guess a 2-gate sentry expand. It seems a little bit odd. The second bunker from Neg is going to make him 100% safe, and his CC is so far ahead of Coach's expansion. Well, Coach doesn't really have any tech. He's actually going to be ahead even with this bunker up.
Yeah, this is a really odd. Yeah, and coach is already behind, like you said. As a Protoss, you don't really want to be there. You want to sort of keep in front a little bit because the mules will catch them up anyway when the expansion does go down. I mean, it's a really weird spot. Okay, at least he gets the timing. He sees that there's a good defense there. You don't really want to push into the two bunkers,
Yeah.
and he's bugging out and going home. But the pathing already, there's a couple zealots on offer if he wanted them.
Hmm. So he is going to end up behind a bit on the harvester count. He is getting, it looks like was that a forge? Did he cancel a forge? Did cancel a forge, I think. He now is getting a Twilight Council and a Robo Bay. So,
Again,
I mean,
the first game too, where he was much safer in the first game than he is now, in my opinion. And even then, it was kind of weird in the first game where he's getting both techs so early.
yeah.
I mean, you could easily go charge on Archon and just use the Observer.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it works if your opponent is kind of passive, because then you don't die, because you're going to be cutting units for heavy tech. But there's so many Marines on the field right now. There's currently, 18 Marines? It's a pretty healthy amount. Definitely can lend itself to some aggression. There's actually no stim on the way yet. That needs to be researched pretty soon here.
He is going charge, right? He is starting charge right now, research. So there's that. He's got his third gas, but not his third and fourth gases, coach. So he needs gas if he's gonna go any other kind of tech one way or the other. Even if he's gonna go mass charge lot at this point, he needs something else with it.
Yeah, and the thing is, charge lot doesn't really work when you're this Marine heavy.
Right.
Neg is extremely Marine heavy. So if he tries to be aggressive with this charge lot force, he's just gonna get his face rolled.
Yeah, I mean, even if you were to complement them with the sentries, you need more gas for more sentries. Like he's just not
Yeah.
doesn't have gas enough for whatever it is he's trying to conjure up there in his brain.
Yeah, and he is going to be getting some Colossus, so it's going to be like a charge lot Colossus kind of thing. But at the same time, that's just so gas intensive that it's very, very difficult for the Protoss to be able to actually have the units up that he needs.
And he's going to +1 attack first, not +1 armor versus Terran, which you don't really see really ever at this point. Yep. Charge is about to finish. Neg is moving out across the map. This could be bad. The timing could be bad for Condor right now.
Yes and no. The issue with Neg right now is that he doesn't have Stim. Stim is extremely late this game. I think he just outright forgot it. But Stim is going to finish at 12 minutes. And, I mean, he's not going to have any medevacs really either for these kind of drops that he's going to need to actually do damage. And even then, it's going to be a stimless drop. So it won't necessarily do any damage. So definitely going to be hard for Neg to actually do damage without Stim in these Marines. Yeah, I mean, medevacs, when they can't really heal Stim up, it's very dicey for a Terran here.
Yeah, and the time it's taken him to get in position, Condor's actually closed the supply gap.
Yeah.
Like, when this first moved out, it looked really dire for Coach, and at this point now, we're actually almost even. With a Colossus on the way, plus charge gun.
Yeah, the army size is a bit larger for Neg, I would say, right now, but the thing is that negates that is having any defensive Colossus. Defensive Colossus are very, very, very good against
Colossus. Colossus is about to pop. He's researching Blink right away, too, which I don't know that I do that quickly right after charge, and I need money that badly. I don't think Blink's my option there. I mean, I get to chase down medevacs and stuff like that. Sure, okay, but like I usually get that base 2 to 3, not okay, now when I'm so tight on money.
Here's the cost of that. Look at the workers count right now. That's why he can afford all that stuff. He's cutting probes quite heavily right and left. He only has 38 probes.
I really hate him chasing with so many stalkers that factory right now.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. The factory's just there for scouting information. Not too big of a deal. Yeah.
Condor does have his fourth gas finally done. He's not mining from it yet. He is very high on chronos. He's basically at a Nexus and a half worth of chronos he's not using. He does not have extended thermal lance. He is working on another Colossus, so his Colossus count now up to 2. He is chronoing Blink, which is just about done. His +1 armor is now on the way. His second forge is on the way. +1 armor just finishing. So he's 1-1. Meanwhile, we have Negative is working on +1 armor, +1 attack. I believe is already done. The Stim finishing, as well as I believe Kongsho was it? Yeah, Kongsho's just about done.
Yeah, you see, the problem with all this is even though Coach is taking a third, he is effectively in a position where he must do damage. He is currently down, what, 15 workers? That is a massive amount. And then you have mules on top of that.
Yeah,
The
it's pretty
production
quick.
for the production for negative here soon is going to be so stupidly high. It's not going to be a close game. The longer this game goes on with Coach not doing damage, the further behind he's going to fall.
Yeah, it's actually really scary. Like, really, if you really look at Condor's natural, there's there's so few workers there. I mean, he's maybe half where he wants to be at that second nexus. It's and especially with all the unused chrono as well. Just
And look at the
keep
composition.
up.
Look at this composition right now, though. How many stalkers are here? There's a total of 7 in this main army. There's what, 4 Vikings right here? Yeah, 5. So those Colossus are not going to stay alive. He doesn't have enough anti-air. So I mean, it's going to be really. He can't actually engage here against this Terran. So this Terran can continue to build up more stuff, while Condor falls further and further behind because the timing for him doing damage with this heavy tech build has already passed.
Yeah, he's now Neg is going for that drop. The stalkers are there. He's gonna pick off that drop pretty nicely. I will say there's a good response there. He may lose all the. Oh, nice blink away from Condor, keeping him alive, keeping the losses to a minimum. He cleans up, no probe losses. Good on Condor.
Yeah, definitely good. He really needs all the probes he can get right now. Neg can kind of start throwing away units and really harassing with drops. It only takes one really good drop to make all the other ones cost effective.
Yeah.
And he's kind of in that position, and especially with this heavy Viking count, he doesn't even necessarily have to do that. If he gets in a good positioning, he can kill these 2 Vikings and then kill all of these units.
And Condor's still behind now 16 workers plus mules with 3 bases now up, and the second and third bases are nowhere close to saturated. And it just I don't know that he even realizes it.
And the thing is, Neg is in a position where he has everything he wants. This is all that Terran wants. Look at his base right now. He has 4 barracks with tech labs. That's 4 ghosts at a time as he's getting his ghosts right now. He has Vikings. He's got double starports. He can make whatever he wants. His tech is set up to do whatever the hell he wants. Condor doesn't have Archons. He doesn't. Doesn't have Storm. He's in such a difficult position right now. He's at a tech disadvantage. He has an upgrade advantage, but his army is not equipped to deal with this army. And good kiting by Neg, not taking any damage from these Zealots. And again, all the Colossus melt immediately, and Neg can do a lot of damage here with this army.
That's really bad. At this point, it's got to be a full retreat at this point. You can't engage. With the force fields are actually hurting the Zealots more than anything.
Yeah, and I mean, these Marines and Marauders are going to absolutely clean up all of this. Very decisive fight. Very good positioning with those Vikings, melting all those Colossus almost immediately.
Yeah, this is bad for Coach. Coach realizing that even with the upgrade advantage at 2-2, he can't even re-macro very well. He's so low on gas. I mean, he's in a bad spot. This is bad.
Yeah, and I mean, he's getting Storm, yes, but as he said, he's so low on gas. He doesn't have the gases at us. They're just now getting them. He can't afford Archons. He's got to stay on this heavy Zealot composition, and that doesn't work when your opponent has like 25 Marines in his current composition. Like that's not something that you can currently engage.
And negative being smart and getting more ahead, taking a 4th as he pushes out.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the killing blow for Neg, more or less. He's going to take such effective lead that Condor won't really be able to come back.
Condor has 1 Colossus in his natural, and he's not using it. He's not rallied with the rest of his army. The 3rd goes down for Condor. Condor right now just fighting to survive.
Yeah. He's effectively on like 1.5 mining bases. His main is mining, sort of. His natural is starting... No, it's not mining out with such a low probe count. Usually it would be mining out by now. Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those positions where this economic disadvantage has really carried over into a tech disadvantage. And while he's maintained an upgrade lead, that upgrade lead is kind of shrinking. And I mean, the tech advantage is now definitely in Neg's favor. Like, he is so far ahead tech-wise, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Condor's in a really bad spot where he can't afford now. Like, literally, can't afford anything now because he had to rebuild the Nexus, and his economy is so bad. He can't afford anything. Forget about Archons. He can't afford 3 Zealots.
Yeah, and this is at this point where Neg could actually move across the map. He has that kind of army composition right now, but he's just being very passive, waiting for I guess Ghost Cloak. I mean, I think that he thinks that Condor had that third base up for a longer period of time, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand what he's waiting for.
Yep, I think he's really just starting to realize that. I think those maybe I mean he could be waiting for the 3-3 time. I mean 3-3 timing is so far away. I don't know why you would
Sure.
wait that long this far across the map. So at this point, this is actually maybe it. This I mean, Neg's pulling back. Okay, so Neg is
I
really
mean,
waiting maybe for either
okay.
that.
Here's the thing that I can kind of understand. You see a Protoss with a upgrade advantage. That's really kind of bad. A Protoss has 3-2 to your 2-2. That's not fun times. And then he has a bunch of Colossus when you're kind of Viking light. I mean, at the time he only had I think 4 or 5, and now he's up to 7. But 3 Colossus is kind of a high amount. So an okay decision to fall back, especially when you have a base lead. You don't actually have to do damage. But I think Neg again thinks that the game is a little bit closer than it actually is. Taking things cautiously and slowly, nothing necessarily wrong with that.
Yeah, there was another drop in the main just now. Coach cleaned it up pretty quickly, but he's going to lose his few of his idle workers that were trying to mine minerals that weren't there anymore. But having said that, it's not too bad in terms of what negative lost. Even if he doesn't get a ton for it, I think he probably was worth it in the end, just because you can sort of cycle out and maybe get Ghost now with that empty supply.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's more or less maxed. As Terran, this is what you want to do. If you have units that you don't want, which is mostly Marines at this point, you want to start removing Marines and adding Ghosts in their place. You start dropping with your Marines, and you try and do damage with them. It's effectively how Zerg throws away their Roaches when they want to get rid of them. You just want to do damage with them, and just kind of get rid of the units you don't really want.
Yeah, Neg is actually very impressively macroing so damn hard on his end of the map. Like, Neg is mining or has bases set up literally across the entire half of his map. There's a couple proxy pylons that Condor's using to zealot harass, and I dig that because late game I do that same thing. But at the same time, he's in a lot of trouble in terms of his actual army in the middle of the map. And this again, they're sort of dancing around each other. Neg scanning to really get a good look at what he's dealing with. You're probably starting to realize I can take that army. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean it's still
close. Coach is ahead in supply, army supply. Oh, he's leaving those 2 High Templars behind. I don't like that.
Yeah, the reason being is because he's so light on pros. But the thing is, look at the amount of barracks that Neg currently has. He can almost instantly remax.
Yeah,
Condor is broke. He can't remax. I mean,
those ghosts unplugged
pretty fast. Yeah, the ghost did very little, but these storms aren't really doing a lot either. And Neg can kind of just do it.
I really didn't like the storms from the follow-up storms from Coach because he already used them for like 3 Vikings. He needed to use the money.
I mean, there's still so many Colossus here. Colossus do so well against Bio that this is still going to be a very good trade for Coach.
But at the same time, the macro follow-up.
Yeah, the thing is, Neg is so far ahead economically that trading efficiently or anywhere near efficiently isn't good enough for Condor. He needs to do so much more damage than efficiency that it doesn't really matter. Like, the thing is, look, you just killed all my stuff. I have 3 Ghosts, and I have 7 Marines, 3 Marauders in the way, and 4 Vikings on the way. 11 and 6 now for the Marines and Marauders, respectively. That is so many units on the way already.
And Coach warping in a huge line of zealots just to harass that base again, which he's probably just going to lift up again. So, I mean, it's a great... I mean, he has to warp it in because he needs more troops. He's going to get some SCV kills, which is great. But at the same time, he's only harassing.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's not... He doesn't have a composition where he can actually directly engage, really.
No. I'm not sure he's going to have enough time to get that kind of composition back.
Yeah. I mean, the supplies are still, like, Neg's actually kind of in trouble here. He hasn't really been macroing. He's got a decent-sized bank. I mean, he needs to engage this kind of efficiently. These army could do something, I guess. I mean, Neg wasn't constantly maxing. The EMPs hit a lot. Oh my god, those EMPs were huge.
That was a good EMP. That was a great.
So he's going to clean everything up with that EMP. I mean,
without it was going to be close, but he really did damage with that.
I mean, the thing is, like, Condor could have done a ton of economic damage, maybe, if, like... Okay, Condor could have done a ton of damage if Neg missed everything, but that was just... It was a point where even if he did a ton of damage, he's still probably behind.
Yeah, and with that, Condor realizes he's basically tapped out, and he GG's there. Honestly, guys, that was our last game, and that was our last set. I thought we've been saying it in between the games. This has been a damn good set to end the night with. I've been really impressed with the level of both Coach as a sort of a newly pro toss focused player and Negative really showing what he can do.
Yeah, a little bit too passive for my liking for Neg, but
I
still
would
a
agree.
very, very good set.
I agree. I thought overall the set was good. I think both players clearly have shown that there are weaknesses still in their game, but at the same time, overall, I would have a good
Oh
time
yeah.
watching this.
Overall, a very good set, very interesting. A lot closer than I thought. It'd be props to Condor for putting on such a good show.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very good set.